Welcome to That Sunna Feeling, the podcast where beauty meets ambition, hosted by Brandi and Chanel, the founders of Sunna.
Here we peel back the layers of the beauty industry, offering insider tips, business strategies, and personal stories that inspire and educate you on the path to success in your spray tanning, teeth whitening, and beauty business.
Whether you're dreaming of launching your own venture, looking to expand your revenue streams, or simply curious about what goes into our products, we're here to guide you each step of the way.
From the fundamentals of picking your very first spray tan machine to building an empire from the ground up.
That Sunna Feeling is your go-to source for business motivation and knowledge.
All right, I'm so excited to have Denise Ginzel on this podcast. It's a long time coming. We are diving into a series called the Sunna Success Method this summer. And the Sunna Success Method used to be a group coaching program that Denise here actually facilitated. We launched it last year. It's a series of modules, training, business training to really launch your success in your new spray tan business. Or if you're not even if you're new, if you're needing like a refresh and lots of really cool business training, it was an awesome program for that too. However, we are relaunching it. So we're really excited about that. And we've restructured a little bit. And so instead of a group coaching 6-week program, what we've done is we've made it available, packaged it all up, and it's a do it, on your own terms course, online course. So you get all of these modules. And then when you're finished, you get to book in for a coaching call with Denise, and use that time to dive into whatever it is that you're struggling with and you need help and support with. And so we're really excited to have Denise here. I will say that for podcast listeners only, we are offering a $100 off discount incentive on the Sunna Success Method. So you can use SSM100 to take advantage of that discount. So that's the blurb before we dive into the very first episode. And this is, the series this summer on the Sunna Success Method is really to give you a taste of the topics and the courses and what it is that those members and those people that join that program learn. And we're starting off with the very first, a taste of the first module, and the first course with Denise, who actually teaches it. I will say that this course is taught by myself, Chanel, and Denise. So we've got a ton of content in there. But the very first one is on mindset, which really is your foundation. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring Denise on here. And first of all, we need to introduce you, Denise. I've been talking too much. Denise, you started tanning, you said around 9 years ago. I think it's probably more than that. I don't know. I feel like we've known each other forever.
I know it does.
In a good way. In a best way possible.
I love it.
You started tanning. You have a similar story to a lot of people and their why and how they started tanning. And really for you, it started off with a skin cancer scare. So do you want to just talk a little bit about you and how you got into tanning in the first place?
Sure. Yes, of course. So I had a skin cancer scare and was basically told that I couldn't be in the sun anymore. So that led me to, the path of self-tanners, getting spray tans. It was new to come out. I remember getting a spray tan. I remember the feeling that I had. The person who tanned me made me feel amazing. And I remember walking away from that and being like, I could do this. And like we said before, we talked about this many times, I love the social aspect. And having that connection with the person, for me, made me really excited to do it. So in this course, of course, we talk about mindset, getting excited, getting yourself in the mind that you're going to be successful and building yourself up. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself again. But so that's how I started.
That's how you started. And I want to say, Denise has an incredible story, and over the years, all the different kind of avenues and what she's done with her business in spray tanning. And why I'm really excited about this podcast is, and I say that Denise is the perfect person to talk about mindset, because when she puts her mind to do something, like nothing stops her. And so she, everybody can learn from Denise in this arena. Like right away, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I met Denise. So, however many years ago now, again, 7-ish or whatnot, she was tanning before we met. And This is when I was building my own business on Instagram, and you're really looking outside of your own city, and you're looking at other Instagram artists or Instagram artists, spray tan artists on Instagram. And Denise was there. She was dominating on Instagram. I didn't think that I was, but thank you for saying that. I was a lot. I had it all out there. I just went for it. Right. So, but this is the thing. This is why I noticed you. And I think even myself as an artist, and then as working with Sunna and looking for, talented people, like-minded people, like this to join the Sunna fam, like you were the epitome of what we were looking for.
That's so sweet.
Well, you were. We've talked about this. Like I said, you had a presence about you. I think I used the word commanding, which you just commanded attention, and you oozed confidence. So right away, and your knowledge was spot on, and you weren't afraid to show up, and you weren't afraid to just show your authentic self. And so these are those things, and that I think all comes back to mindset and some of the things that, Denise, that you do and that you teach other people on how to do and how to overcome things, because it's not all roses and sunshine for you either, right? Like you have to work at it.
And there's some days that you just don't feel like it. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself again, but that's where it comes into, looking at Instagram, going and finding people that are just giving it and getting a little inspo from them, drinking a little bit of whatever they're drinking and just getting excited again. And it's almost a daily, if not weekly thing to pump your own self up, because nobody else is going to tell you that you can do all these things. Maybe you have support from your husband, boyfriend, whatever, and that's great, but it needs to come from your own self. So a great way to do that is obviously our course. We've helped so many people that have been just needing that extra little push. And finding that through this course is amazing. And I was going to talk a little bit about someone that we had in one of our previous courses who her business, when I looked at her business, I'm like, whoa, her business was doing awesome. She was doing amazing. And she joined our course. And at first, I couldn't really see why she would need us, but she was going through a really, really hard time in her life. And it was just kind of beating her up a bit. And what she needed was like a total reset. And that's what we offer, is basically like a reset. It kind of makes you think things in a different way, come across your business aspect in a different, thinking about it completely differently. And everybody needs that little refresh from time to time.
A refocus, something to also channel your energy. And you've said this before, confidence and that mindset and everything kind of stems from that knowledge, right? And some action and taking action in the right direction. And so that's a lot of what this course offers. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions, Denise. I know you've talked a little bit about some of the things, but
sure.
We're going to dive in a little bit deeper. So you have, like I said, you have been in tanning for, 9 years plus years. Before she even came into the Sunna world, she was a spray tan trainer herself. So she was training all kinds of women. So she's been mentoring, coaching, and training women for, since the day she really started. And that's who Denise is, though, is a natural coach and a leader in that way. And she often talks about, giving the pep talks, etc. So she comes from like a world of experience, right? And she's been in Sunna sales for again, 5+ years. So she talks to women every single day. And so I'm going to ask you, Denise, what are some mindset pitfalls that you've seen that new artists or beauty business owners, what do they get stuck in? Where do they get stuck?
The number one thing is anytime you're starting something new is, what if I suck? What if I'm not good at this? What if I suck? What if I screw up somebody's tan? What if, somebody in my town's already doing it and they're better than me? You just really start doubting yourself when you're starting something new. And that's the really scary part. And it's getting over that hump and just going for it, which is the hard part. So yeah, like you said, I talk to women. I was on a call today and they're like, how do I get started? I'm so nervous. Like, what if I screw up? You're going to screw up. Things are going to happen. What the main point is how you're going to handle it. So in the beginning, right away, customer service was going to be number one. If I made a mistake, I was going to do anything I could to fix it. I would apologize. I would do anything I could. And you know what? My business was based on that trust that even if I do make a mistake, I'm going to own it and fix it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we start the Sunna Success Method with mindset because it really is your foundation. And I love that you brought up even that, you're going to mess up. Because if you, again, knowledge is power. And if you're prepared for that, or what ifs, and just talking this through, just thinking about these things, understanding and realizing that your mindset is going to be affected. Your confidence is going to be affected. Every day, there's going to be challenges that are thrown your way. And so it's really about arming yourself with some tools and to be prepared for them.
Exactly.
The one thing I know we talked about yesterday when we were preparing here was that they won't make money. That's another one that, everybody's afraid of. And like you said, someone is better than them, just that self-doubt. And can you talk a little bit about, putting your eggs in one basket? Like you were talking a little bit about people are afraid of that. Do you remember what you're saying?
People, yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
It's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, meaning they're afraid of just putting all their money in the tanning. But really what they don't realize is that we have so many other things. So we have the retail, we have the private label, we have the teeth whitening. And what I loved about it is wherever you are in your business, you can find something. We have something for you. So if you are just starting out with spray tanning and you just want to start with that, that's great. We have that. We have the affiliate program. We have retail. We have private label. We have the teeth whitening. I was talking to somebody today who wanted to add teeth whitening, but they couldn't afford it yet. They wanted to add it eventually. And I said, you know what? Start now. Make your money now. This is our busy season. And in the meantime, just sell the at-home kits. So you can really diversify with just what we have. So it's really easy to do. We make it easy for you.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So I think this is going to be pretty self-explanatory, but in your eyes, what's the difference between people that make it in their business and don't?
Again, it's back to mindset, and it's that failure's not an option. You're going to go forward with it, and it takes a special person to be an entrepreneur. You really need to just continually immerse yourself in knowledge, in inspiration, follow other artists. I like to go on TikTok because I still, let me just say also, I still make mistakes in spray tanning. I've been doing it for, like we said, 9 years. I still make mistakes. I still sometimes have to pick myself up. What I like to do, one of the things that I really love to do is go into TikTok and I type in small businesses, and I get so much inspiration from looking at small businesses, even in my spray tan business, because I'm seeing people really give it. They're showing behind the scenes. Some days they're on there and they're like, you know what, I made 2 sales today and that really sucks. And people are talking about things, and I get a lot of inspiration from that. So I encourage people to always look at all businesses across the board and get inspiration wherever you can.
Yeah. And you're not alone, right? Get inspiration from your community.
Yeah.
Get inspiration from a plan as well. Like having a plan and following a plan, definitely helps. I mean, sometimes plans don't always go as you had planned, but at least it helps with a bit of a direction, and that really increases your confidence. And that's also one of the things the Sunna Success Method definitely helps with, is creating that kind of a map and a journey that you can then
it gets you so excited about doing business again, I find. Just reading all the modules and getting ideas that you didn't even think of is just, I mean, like so many girls that have taken this, they're like, where was this like 5 years ago? Like I could have really used this. And even myself, I was getting inspiration from watching you and Chanel and just rethinking about things again, revisiting them. So that's really important.
Well, I think it's really cool because we can take a step back now that we've been kind of like out of our business or like not doing it full time. And then we can really dissect it and say, okay, what worked, what didn't? And like, let's only focus on what worked. And we're going to share that. We're going to dive really deep in there. So it's really cool. I totally agree with you. I was inspired as well. Like when we sat down and we created this, it is something that I'm excited that we're going to be able to offer it to kind of more people. and they have lifetime access to it. So, okay, what are 3 actionable tips that you would give to someone looking to improve their mindset today?
Looking to improve their mindset, definitely find some inspiration. Like I said, go on TikTok, go on Instagram, look at other women that are successful. They don't even have to be in the field. Just look for success and get excited about it. Get excited about what your why is. Why are you doing this? Like for me, I know I really like to travel a lot. You know this. I don't like to be too tied down to anything. So for me, having retail, even doing spray tanning in my own time, and you make so much money, like that's a huge plus, obviously. Number 2, making a marketing plan. It can be really small in the beginning. It can be, your plan is to get 5 clients a week. You start that way. You start small and then you just keep adding to it. And before you know it, you're doing all of the things. You're doing the retail, the affiliate, you're doing the teeth and the tan. And that's kind of how it started for me. It just kind of got bigger. And don't be afraid to change your plan. Like your plans should change all the time and grow bigger as you grow. And then that's going to help set you up for success. And don't be afraid to talk to other entrepreneurs. I know that it really helped me in the beginning to just join in my city, just to see not even people doing the same thing, but branching out that way and getting ideas. Never stop educating yourself and asking people questions. Like that's huge. And failure is not an option. Once you decide to do this, failure is no longer an option. So like I said before, I talk to women all day long. I talk to them when they're in the very early stages. So before they've even purchased or anything yet, and they're just throwing around the idea. I talk to them like they've already done it and I can get them excited. And that's what you should be doing to yourself. And that's kind of like the mindset that we're talking about.
Okay. I love that. I absolutely love that. Because it is true, Denise. You're always on everybody's side, and failure really isn't an option with all of the tools and the opportunities that we all have right now. We have an incredible community with all the Sunna Pro, Sunna Fam members. Like it's unreal. I'm going to throw a curveball, Denise. We didn't talk about this question, but I think that sometimes your personality, you look to social media for inspiration. But for some people, that can be a little, they can get that imposter syndrome, that's creeping in and, she's doing it better than me and I can't do that. And who am I to be able to do this and that? So what kind of tips would you have for people that might be kind of coming in and creeping in? Like what might you say to that or to those people?
That's a good question because I do know people that it's too much for them and it's overwhelming. So I think in that instance that you would start smaller and kind of figure out what your own success is or what success means to you. What does that mean? Does that mean 3 clients a day? Does that mean selling 2 tanners, 1 tanner a week? If that's success to you, start with that. Definitely build yourself up first before you can look elsewhere. I totally understand that. I would still, join our Facebook group is such a great place to start. There's so much support on there. If you're scared to post anything or anything like that, you can read years. How many years would you say is on our Facebook page?
Over 10.
Information. You could type anything in, anything.
Do not type my name in there.
Do it.
From the early days, you will see some holy Brandi did not know what she was doing.
You know what? And we all started somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's great. Another thing is, and I don't know if it's just me, but I definitely had days where I'm like, okay, social media is not my friend. It's just annoying me. For me, I need some quiet time to really get myself to the point where I feel motivated again, because we've all been through it where we have our days where we're super motivated. I can do a million things and get so many things. And on days where I do nothing, I'll watch a show or go for a walk. And it's okay to take a break from all of it. It's okay to just take a step back. And I find those days when I do that, I get more done later on, maybe not in that day. Just take care of yourself. Give yourself listen to your body, what it needs, because this entrepreneurial thing, it takes a lot out of you. So it's important to listen to yourself. If you think that it's overwhelming, take a step back for sure.
Yeah. It's a reset. It's a reset. So my tip, I already knew the answer that I would say, and I really put you on the spot there, Denise.
I mean, you know what? I'm used to it by this point.
I would say that I think, they talk about a social media like cleanse in a way, right? Only following those people that you want to follow and that make you feel good, right? I mean, granted, sometimes it's a good thing to follow people where, they maybe push your buttons a little bit, but, really it's there in the name of growth and learning something new, but it doesn't affect your mindset or your mental ability. Like it really does go to show that. And I think some of the things that you've talked about, Denise, like taking, time out, watching a funny show, watching or listening to funny podcasts, that's something that you love to do, like really just uplifting your mood and turning off your brain off of that. You're going to experience the rewards after. You're going to be more motivated. You're going to have more clarity. It's just like, I mean, Denise and I both have young kids. And so it's like when they're, or I shouldn't say young, Denise's kids are, graduated and out of the house and minor teens. But when we had young kids, it's like one of those things, like my one son who's younger and he's doing his Lego and he's frustrated, right? And it's like, as moms, we're like, okay, you need to take a break, right? Like you don't really realize how frustrated you are when you're in there. So you do have to, learn that for yourself, take a break, really, up level your mood and what is it that's going to make you feel good. And that's going to help your mindset later down the road. But I would really say like follow those, again, like Denise is saying, get inspiration. So really make sure that you are following people that inspire you, and following content that you really love. And it doesn't have, existing airbrush artists or spray tan or beauty businesses. That's great too. I think that's awesome. But also like Denise does, like look outside your industry and small businesses, and you learn so much, you get so much inspiration, and it just feels like you're just like not alone and the world's not, crumbling on top of you.
And it'll help you with your business in the sense of like, for example, I love funny stuff. Like you said that when I take a break and watch something funny, even if I give myself an hour and I watch a funny podcast or whatever, a funny show, I come back myself. Like I find that refreshing because I think that, and that's just the way I've marketed myself too. I find it through humor. I think that making other people laugh and doing things that are silly, I think that lightens the business and it makes it more fun for me. So however that's going to look for you. And I tell people all the time when they are doing their mindset, when you're following somebody and you like something, ask yourself why you liked it. Why do you like it? Or why did you smile? Or what was it about that? And don't copy them. Be inspired by them. That's a huge thing that I think really, because you do need a creativity part to the business as well. So
I always find that we tend to attract a lot of creative women into our business because there is an element of, an artistic expression or whatever. So yeah, you can have fun with it. Don't be afraid to like not have fun with it. There's no rules. Denise, one of the things that I always think about with you, and I again, I'm throwing a curveball. I want you to share you're scaring me. You already know. You know. Do you remember what you used to do with your clients? Like just talking about having fun and like posting content. Do you remember what you used to do when they would leave behind items?
Yes. Because that was my favorite. I remember doing it and thinking, oh man, what am I doing? And you know what? When the first time I did it, I 100% had wine first, like 100%. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to post it. So anything that people would leave at my studio, at the end of the week, I would end up with like the most random stuff. With the credit card, I would tell them right away, obviously. But I would get umbrellas, I'd get bras, I'd get necklaces, people would leave behind the strangest things. So one day it just came across my mind that wouldn't it be funny to like wear it all and just like do a lost and found. So I would do in my stories a lost and found of things that people left behind and like just kind of, I think I danced around and stuff and socks and keys and like people would leave all kinds of stuff. So I thought, I didn't really think too much of it. I did it a few times and then I was like, oh, I don't know. People would like respond to me and whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it became a series because people were like, well, when are you going to do Lost and Found again? So I did it for a long time until my kids started blocking me and they're like, you have to stop. So I stopped. It stopped working. They were so embarrassed.
But you had a good time. I don't know. I just think
I did have a good time.
I'm the same as you. I love
fun.
I love to have fun in my business. And I think, we're in such a personable business as well. Like you can still be professional and have fun. And
I think it helps. I think it helps too, because it really gets you out there and it's such a personal, appointment. Like, I don't know about you, but like most of my clients were nude. So like getting to know the person who's going to see you nude is like a huge thing. And so I had people come to me and say, I wasn't going to come to you because I was so scared. Like, and like I said, it was in the beginning, people were like, you're so like goofy. Like I felt comfortable with you, or not even just that. It's just your presence, showing your face, talking. People get to know you and they feel like they know you. So they feel more comfortable with you. So it really helps.
Couple more questions. How can entrepreneurs manage stress and avoid burnout while building their business?
That's a great question because we all experience it, and not even just starting out. Like, I mean, we know this. It's a constant thing. Self-care is huge. Having a nice bath, having something to look forward to at the end of the day or the weekend is huge. I love my bubble baths with a nice glass of wine and a true crime show. Like that is something that I look forward to at the end of the day, and it refreshes me. I feel awesome after. I smell good. I use certain oils, whatever. So self-care is huge. Setting boundaries is huge. And I mean, that's something that you're always going to have to carry on. That's something that you just stop when you're not new anymore. You're always going to have set boundaries, whether it be, and let your clients know in a nice, gentle way. Like we all set our boundaries, whether when they respond to you on social media and you have an auto response saying, this is when I return my calls. I think that's really important because it sets up good customer service as well. So you're setting their expectations. Nobody's going to be mad at you if you're setting their expectations. So setting those boundaries in the beginning is really, really important. So self-care, setting boundaries, and setting expectations for your clients are the main things.
Yeah, those are amazing tips. How can you build self-confidence in running your business?
By practicing, getting to know your craft inside and out, practicing on yourself. I know this sounds weird, but what I'd like to do just so that I could see how, the tans would fade. I mean, you can't sell a product that you don't love. So get to know it on yourself inside and out. You can spray your leg with your machine. You can spray it like you would a client and watch how it fades. Knowing your products, knowing your clients, being prepared for anything, really knowing your industry, watching these videos, watching these podcasts. We give you so much information to really immerse yourself in this industry and get that self-confidence you need.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right? Again, and then taking that action as well, and just knowing that you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn from them, and you're gonna continue to move on. I mean, the number of mistakes that I made, we've both made, right?
I still make them. I tanned somebody the other day and it didn't take for whatever reason, and I think that I accidentally grabbed an old bottle and that I meant to throw out, and it was really embarrassing because she wanted a tan for a wedding. And you know what? What can I do? I said, you know what? Listen, I'm really sorry. I sent her over some self tanner and I will tan her for free. She's coming back this week. So, I mean, it's going to happen, but the way you handle it is everything. It's going to continue to happen. It's the way you handle it, and just be prepared in your head how you're going to handle these situations. That's another, like, just planning ahead. How are you going to handle when somebody says, their tan didn't take, or it faded fast, or whatever. And the main thing too is asking a lot of questions, never having the blame on them. I always blame myself and I fix it.
I love that. We're going to have an episode about that. Blaming yourself a little bit. And in that, we don't need to be here to beat yourself up, but what it is that when you take accountability for your customer, full accountability, and for the success and the outcome of, your client's experience, then your business is going to thrive. You're going to learn so much from that. That is something that Chanel and I are also very passionate about. And we know that in this industry, we hear it a lot where, panning is 50% the client and 50% the artist, which technically it is, but I've always viewed it as 100% on the artist, because it really is our job to educate and make sure that experience is flawless, right? And again, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you have that attitude, your business is going to skyrocket. We are proof of that.
It's a professionalism too. You just have to view yourself, even though you're working for yourself, you're still a professional. Like, you think about how you're handled when you go into a store or anything like that. It's a professional service. So giving that professional experience always, and having that mindset that you're the professional and it's your responsibility regardless.
I love that. I think I'm going to tell a little story here. When I had my staff, really just kind of starting out with this team of airbrush artists and trying to get everybody kind of on the same page as well. Like, you talk about culture or whatever as a team. And we did an exercise, and I was telling them a little bit about, there's a famous spray tan artist back in the day. Well, Jimmy, Coco. Jimmy Coco. And I remember reading an article, again, years ago, and that, obviously celebrity spray tanner, and he was charging $400 per spray tan, right? And I sat there and I thought, what is the difference between me and Jimmy Coco? And there is no difference. In fact, I probably give a better spray tan than Jimmy Coco. I'm not gonna, if Jimmy Coco ever listens to this, he's gonna be like, well, we'll see about that. But that's how I felt. I mean, the Sunna experience in and of itself is amazing. If you follow it through, you are literally, it's a luxury celebrity spray tan experience. It absolutely is. From the consult to everything that we teach, right? So I remember, I did a mindset exercise with my staff, and I said, okay. And they were like, I said, there's no difference. Okay. So the only difference is that we're charging 50 at the time, right? And he's charging 400, but it's the exact same, service. And so we have to come into every single, your client it's like, you are a celebrity spray tan artist, right? And you are creating this amazing luxury experience, and you are the professional, like you said. And with that mindset, it really did change. It did change the way that my staff really took themselves seriously in that room, and, taking control of the appointment and being the professional. And if you don't know the answer to a question, that's okay. You're going to find out and learn, but you already are guaranteed to know way more than your client, because, you've taken the training, you've taken the certification, you're continuing to educate yourself, you've got a bit of a plan, you're immersed in this industry. So you know what? You're already the professional. So present yourself like that.
Exactly. And it's a huge thing. I mean, the skin is the largest organ on your body, right? So it's something to be proud of too. So, yeah. I don't know. I think just going in with that mindset that you're a professional, that you're doing an awesome job, and it's really fun industry, and everything there is to know about, or at least you're aspiring to know everything there is to know about the skin and how it's going to absorb and how it's going to do all these things. So yeah, you are the expert.
You are the expert. Absolutely. Okay. So Denise, we're going to wrap this up. One final question. I mean, you've already answered this a couple times, but why should people enroll in the Sunna Success Method?
Oh, there's so many reasons. I mean, this is just the very tip of the iceberg in terms of what you're going to learn. And just knowing that mindset does so much. Imagine what else we're going to dig deep into. We have so many great modules. I've seen so much, and so have you, incredible success in these women that have taken this course. It just pushes them to the next level. It's something that, we talk about getting inspiration from this and getting inspiration from that and doing this and doing that. We put it all together in one little bundle. So not only are you working on your mind, you're working on your finances, you're working on your social media. We have you doing all of these exercises to basically guarantee your success. Why wouldn't you want to take it? and push if you're already invested in yourself with your equipment and stuff, why wouldn't you do more for your actual business part in mind? So
I love that. Okay, we're gonna wrap that up. And thank you again, Denise, as always. And just a reminder to everybody listening, podcast listeners only discount code is SSM100. I'll put that in the show notes and in the comments. So thanks again, Denise. And until next
you're
time.
welcome. This is fun. And don't forget to invest in yourself.
I love it. Thanks, Denise.